Hi, I'm Siti Hadijah. Most people call me Had. So I'm from Pencak Silat. I'm from the combat side, actually. Yeah, 20 this year, and I'm still actually schooling, and I'm a spec scholar.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Had.
Nice
Is
to
that how
meet
we
you
can?
too.
Yeah. So
Come
I'll call
again?
you Had. Had.
Yeah.
Had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great stuff. Okay. So how let's start off with just a check-in question for yourself, Kat. How are you feeling right now? If you were right, if you think about this, if how you're feeling was represented by the weather, would it be cloudy? Would it be sun splitting the skies? Would there be a little bit of drizzle? How are you feeling? And just take a moment maybe to think on that.
Currently a bit of drizzle.
Mm,
Yeah. Maybe because I'm like I'm feeling a bit tired from having to cope with school and training, and knowing that I'll be having training later on.
mm,
So I'll be having to I'll need to jump here and there.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm a little like finding the right track, and loss of motivation. So I don't really feeling that bright enough to actually go with the day, because I know that I'm actually quite dreaded by training, because I know it's gonna be tough and all. Yeah, so the motivation for me is actually on a low ball. Yeah.
Mm, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and also having to cope with my injury, that's my torn shoulder.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the chaotic kind of nature of your day, trying to balance everything, is something that is kind of you're feeling the weight of that. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then what I'm hearing is the added kind of you're thinking about your shoulder, and could you tell me more about that, and when that injury happened? And it's if you're back training, it sounds like you're on the tail end of that rehabilitation. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay, so basically what happened is because um my fight
Mm,
I'm a fighter. So
yeah.
what happened was I torn my shoulder actually 2 years ago, 2 years
Mm,
back.
yeah.
So I didn't really had that time to actually visit the doctor, get it
Mm,
checked, get it properly recovered. Instead, I pushed myself to continue fighting that year. That's
yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pushed myself to the point that I didn't respect my own body.
Yeah.
I didn't respect myself. I didn't respect that recovery stage
Mm,
until it hit to the point where I have two tears in my labral,
mm,
and I have one tendinosis in my SSP.
mm. Wow.
So basically I have one tendinosis and two tears.
Okay.
And 2020 really and I've been underestimating this injury. So
Mm,
2020 I've been pushing myself to also train.
mm,
But I
mm,
did get it checked. I work very closely with my physio. I work very closely with my sports trainer.
mm,
But again, I underestimated my shoulder, because I was very excited for training. I was very excited to continue fighting.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And but it's a very huge stress factor, because
Understand.
yeah, because it's an injury firstly,
Yeah.
and secondly, the work pressure, the KPI that I have to meet. That's the reason why I kept on training. That's
Mm,
why I that's why I keep on ignoring
mm.
the injury. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But and that made it worse, because as I continued training, I kept on re-injuring my injury.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Thanks for sharing that. Um,
No worries.
maybe if you think back on the last week, what was the best thing that happened to you of the last week, if you're happy to share on a call like this?
Last week, best thing that happened.
Yeah.
A really last minute meet up with my friends, to actually like go out and eat and just like like we went for Sky Luge.
Yeah. Oh
Sorry.
yeah. How was
Yeah,
it? Was
yeah,
it
yeah.
good?
At the
Was it fun?
Sentosa, yeah.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
try that.
Yeah, that was a very last minute thing.
Yeah.
So basically we planned it at 8:45 p.m.
Wow.
and we actually
Okay.
made
Cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really like it was really fun.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the best thing that happened.
Okay. Wow. 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 Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. The meeting with your friends and just having fun and separating yourself maybe from the
Mm.
normal chaos is something that gives you energy.
Yeah, come again?
Is it so meeting your friends and maybe thinking about something different other than school and competing is something that gives you energy? It gives
Yeah,
you energy if
it
you
definitely.
feel good.
Yeah, and I also make it a point to actually like make social time after my training,
Mm,
although it end very late, like let's say my training always ends at 10 p.m.
mm,
So I'll make it a time like maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes eating session with my friends, because although how I can be very tired from training, but I'll never be tired for my social life.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that actually gives me the energy, that actually gives me some point of um like meeting them and having fun is like, you know really it really gives me a push lah. And it really won't remind me of like how tired do I feel and everything.
mm.
Yeah, so it actually keeps me going during the week. Yeah.
I can see as you were telling me that story of the sky luge, I could see you start to smile. I could see your energy come out. It was it's really cool. And before we had this call, I sent over a link for you to do a values and action questionnaire, a small,
Mm,
short questionnaire that is aimed at finding out what values are most important to you and what do you act on
mm,
most frequently. And it was very interesting to see yours. So your top three were kindness, love, and hope. And from those values, and it's not often that we think about that and we reflect on that for ourselves. And these questionnaires, there's limitations to what they can do, but what I'm hearing from your from what you're telling me about being connected to your friends and that kind of giving you life,
mm-hmm.
that love and kindness kind of comes out there. It kind of comes out there, and that their values and strengths that you can build on. You can, if you're aware that social connection is something that gives you energy, well then it's very important to prioritize that. And I think it's great that even if it's only 10 minutes after your training, at the end of the day, you try and make some time for
Yeah.
that kind of social connection, because I can sense the importance of it for you.
Yeah. I feel like it's important to not for me, when I feel tired, I won't say that I'm tired,
Mm,
because I feel like the more I complain, the more I'm feeding into the tiredness, the tired feeling. Yeah. So what I do is like training is, of course, has been very like, my training is high intensity, because
yeah,
it's been taken by the head coach himself.
yeah,
But like I make it a point to not say that, oh I'm shagged, oh I'm tired.
yeah,
I just want to like, get over that feeling and um yeah, actually just not fit in into the negativity, like not fit in the negative side, and
yeah,
have actually the positive point of view actually to it.
yeah. And so I look at this two ways. Okay, my health coaching kind of hat. Um, I really love your perseverance. you know, again, that was a value that was number 8 on your values list, right? So your perseverance, to even when you're tired, not to say or think about being tired because you feel that it might put you on a downward scale of maybe not training as hard. And that's something that I think you should recognize and see how you can use that strength moving forward. But from a physiology perspective, I think sleep is also something that is important.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of the power of sleep for regeneration and recovery. And from a sleep and recovery perspective, if you're training so hard and you're schooling, that sleep is important. And for you as a 20-year-old adult, 8 hours, 9 hours, 7 hours is probably you want to be somewhere in that range. That would be the optimal target. How is your sleep now? Are you in a good sleeping pattern, or is it a bit chaotic?
Well, I always sleep at 12 because I
Yeah.
have work to complete and
Yeah.
everything. And I always take naps during the day. Yeah,
Great.
because I find the importance to take like, power naps such as like 20 minutes naps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I do feel energetic during the day, but what makes me like, feel burnt out is actually the loss of motivation, and knowing that I have a part of school work to do. And yeah.
Yeah. I'm hearing you kind of say that you're overwhelmed right now with the amount of tasks that you're balancing. And if in active health, we use this positive psychology approach, right? And positive psychology, if I explain it very briefly, in traditional psychology, there's a lot of research done about what's wrong. What people who are sick, who may need help with their psychology, how to get them back to neutral. And the positive psychology approach is really looking at what's working and how can you build on that, and how can you leverage on those strengths. So your current reality right now, what I'm hearing is that you have your schoolwork that you have to do. You have your commitment to your CLAT competitions. And despite what you're telling me about motivation, what I'm hearing is that you're a very driven person. You're driven to succeed. And that's why you sometimes maybe ignore your injury or push through your injury. And I'm still hearing a little bit of passion and excitement in relation to your CLAT, even though you're telling me that your motivation is a little bit low. I'm wondering for yourself, how could you build on your strength of kind of love of social connections, that life-giving kind of activity of meeting friends? How could you use that strength along with your perseverance? And for me, it sounds like you're quite organized. You're balancing so many things that it sounds like you're quite an organized person to maintain this balance. So of the 3 kind of strengths that I'm hearing from you, or I'm hearing through our conversation, it's perseverance, it's that love and so love of social connection, and organization. Are they some strengths that you could build on to help you as you go through this mad year where you're preparing for your competitions, and you also have to balance your schoolwork?
Yeah. Sorry, was that a question?
No, it's more of I'm more asking out loud. So for your social connection, your social time,
Yeah.
that sounds so important to me from what I'm hearing for you.
Yeah, because
And
it's like a form of support.
yeah,
Yeah.
and is that something do you have enough of that right now, or do you need to find more ways to get that social connection built into your day?
I think it's enough right now.
Mm,
It's enough right now. Like, um, it's actually I won't ask for more. I'll
mm,
never ask for more. Yeah, and I think I'm very grateful with whatever that I have right now.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm actually quite thankful with everything that I have right now. Yeah,
yeah,
with
yeah. So,
yeah
mm,
with the friends that I'm with and the family that I'm having. Yeah, I'm actually very grateful. Yeah.
that's awesome. And again, on that questionnaire I sent, gratitude is something that is quite high up for you. On that questionnaire, the gratitude comes through, and I can hear that you're very grateful for the connections that you have, and the family that support you. More about the frequency of the time that you get to spend with your friends. Is that enough for you? Is the 10 minutes after your CLAT session enough?
Uh, it's enough actually. It's
Mm,
actually more than enough because I understand that um it's better than none. It's better
yeah,
than yeah. So I'm actually very very grateful and also thankful that because they are also working and they can actually like make time to go out and maybe eat with me or
yeah,
maybe go out and just chat a little. you know that's how grateful I am to actually even if it's like for the shortest of time. I think it's really more than enough
mm,
because it's also like during the weekday and
mm,
I felt like I am sometimes asking for a lot to just meet, but like to me it's important to find that
yeah,
motivation to actually feel the spark back to actually like go on with the week. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so um yeah, I'm actually very very grateful and thankful, and I won't actually like ask for more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great to hear. It sounds like you have a really good support network around you. Could I ask you for in relation to your sport and your
Mm.
competition, what excites you about that? What excites you right now about CLAT and about when is your next competition taking place?
So basically, due to the pandemic, there's no competition at all,
Yeah. Okay.
and so there's really nothing to actually like. I won't say nothing to look forward, but I'm actually on a blank drawing block
Mm,
where I do not know what's ahead of me and I do not know um what am I actually preparing for.
yeah.
Okay, with the new rules, like the new rules right now are so much more aggressive and it makes the sport even like more violent
Wow.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's lockings involved, that you can use your knee, you can use your elbow. So
Wow.
my stress is like I'm injured and I can't be doing all this like very all these skills that's
Mm,
actually holding me back.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a really big research study done in the past on workers and workers who felt that they had no control over their life, right, over what they do in work. Their stress levels, their physiological stress levels were higher than those who felt, the managers and the leaders who felt they had control. So the guys who didn't have any autonomy, their stress levels were high, and the guys who had autonomy could decide what they do and when they do it, their stress levels were lower. And the, what I'm hearing from you is that the change in rules and CLAT and not knowing when your competition is and adding your shoulder into the mix sounds like it's a bit of a source of helplessness, maybe feeling like you have no control.
But I do feel the blessing in disguise in it, with this whole pandemic because like I get to fully rest,
Yeah.
I'm forced to actually like rest and recover. So I'm not actually like I don't really bother about, like, from where I'm coming from, actually, I don't really bother about, you know, the pressure and everything, because I'm just like taking my time right now, you know,
Mm,
because I have two reasons. There's no competition, and um the time that's given for us to actually, you know, the period of time that there's no competition for us to actually, like, be on our toes. So I can actually, like, it's, to me, it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, this whole
that's
pandemic thing is, yeah.
that's great, and that positive kind of mindset is something that uh, I, I I I think for you it's something that is good. It's great. It's great. Your positivity and your gratitude is something that allows you to look at this pandemic, this crazy situation, and put a positive spin on that. And I really I think that's something that should be recognized. Can I ask you a question? When you feel under pressure or stressed, how does it physically feel for you?
uh Anxious.
Anxious? Okay.
Anxious, yeah, because I used to be labeled as the anxiety kid, you know.
Oh,
I'll get
okay.
very anxious. That part, I really do not like, the part when I'm being called as a, you know, the anxiety kid, you know.
Yeah.
And but I've been trying to find ways to actually cope with it, and I'm trying to find ways to actually um to control, to have that in control. But
Mm,
sometimes I let it flow, because you can't really control whatever you're feeling.
mm,
But it's very important for me to communicate with my body
mm,
and with my mind. When and as I grow, I've been trying to find that, you know, that strategy, that right strategy, to actually find the right communication where I can have my mind and my body in control.
mm.
And the anxious is when I feel like, you know, because I have sweaty palms
Yeah.
and I have sweaty legs. Yeah,
Mm,
so it gets really annoying, and I'll tend to get agitated very easily.
mm,
But um I have my I can control my anger. I can control, but I tend to bottle things up.
okay.
Yeah, and as I tend to bottle things up, I'll get really nervous, and
Yeah.
I'll get like, yeah, and that's where the stress come in. Like, oh, what happens? What if, the ifs, you know, and how am I, like the whether I'm capable of actually handling it, you know. So my stress comes in when, you know, the pressure when it starts questioning myself, where my capability and my ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that feeling of your palms being sweaty and
Yeah.
your legs maybe sweating or your heart rate elevating, that's a completely normal response to a situation that you feel like you cannot cope with. You may also experience that just before you step into the CLAT, into the ring, is it, or onto the mat. You might feel the same thing. You might
Mm-hmm.
feel that physical feeling before you do an exam in school. That physical response to stress is completely normal, and a lot of the time, uh, for you and your followers that are maybe looking at this online, uh, we immediately think that's a bad thing. My palms are sweaty. I must be stressed. This is bad. But it's just your normal physiological response. Your palms get sweaty, your heart rate increases. Sometimes your mouth will become dry because
Yeah.
your body's preparing for physical activity. Years ago, this was our way of surviving. If we saw a threat in the jungle, a lion, uh, our bodies will prepare us to fight or flee, run away as fast as we can. So this physical feeling of stress, next time it happens, maybe just recognize it and say, actually, this is normal. This just means that my body is responding as it should. Now, if it's happening frequently, if that happens daily, and you feel like you cannot cope with the situations, that's when it can become a little bit troublesome for your health. You exercise almost every day, and I think that's something that maybe separates you or makes you a little bit different from everyone else who's looking at this video. A lot of people would not get the exercise that you get. So when if they are stressed on a daily basis and they are not exercising, they physically will not be able to cope as well. So for you, the fact that you exercise every day, and maybe for you it's the other extent where you have to focus on your rest and recovery a little bit more, it still helps you deal with that physiological response to stress. So I think you have a lot of things that are going for you based on what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you have a lot of perseverance, that you have hope, and you value social connection, and you've got a good social support system. And these are things that sometimes we don't reflect on that and we don't realize it, but maybe you can look for some comfort in knowing that you have these strengths that have gotten you to where you are, and you have this social support network that will support you, and they are strengths that you can use to cope, or not even cope, to flourish or thrive in these situations that you think are stressful. Now, can I ask you, if there was one thing that you wanted to, one step that you wanted to take to try and deal with a stressful, your stressful kind of situation or your chaotic life, what would that be? What would that one step be, or one thing that you would like to do? What's most important for you right now?
Give myself a break by stepping out of the reality. So
okay.
Because I feel like is the pressure that is the add-on pressures that I can't cope with, and there's actually this stress factor. So what I'll do is I'll take a step back for a bit. I'll take some fresh air, and that fresh air will be like, just have a more have a more peaceful environment where I get to like feel myself. Cool. And where so, and to actually that scenario in the reality is actually where I bring myself out to like meet my friends and all. Yeah.
And okay, I mean, that's great. So you've identified one way that you can cope, or you can re-energize, and that's finding this peaceful space where you can get some air. And you've just mentioned to me that this is with your friends. Would you like to make that more structured in terms of how many times and how frequent you'd like to take those little recovery or regeneration breaks on a daily basis or on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, there's no structure to it, honestly. So it's just like when I'm feeling too stressed, then I'll just say, come, let's meet up. Yeah, something like that. It's not something that I'll make it like I'll put a limit to it, or I will like or it's like too free, Yeah, it's something where like how to say, it's more to a last minute thing.
Okay. And you're happy with that?
I'm very happy with that. Because not everyone is actually free for that.
Okay, so that's great. And on this call, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to figure out something new that you need to do. You've identified that this safe space, this relaxation space, this time with your friends is important. And what I'm hearing is right now it's working for you. When you're a little bit overwhelmed, when you're a little bit exhausted, you might give your friends a text, and then you guys meet up. And I think that's fantastic. And maybe one suggestion for me could be guard that time like it's Fort Knox. Hearing the energy that you get from spending time with your friends, maybe that can be your way of gauging if you're on track. If you feel that the time or the frequency that you're getting to connect with your friends is getting lower and lower, that might be a time to say, oh, hang on, what decisions am I making? What am I committing to here? So putting that as a priority, right up there with your CLAT and right up there with your school. For me, it sounds like it's just as important, because that's the energy-giving behavior, the life-giving behavior for you. And for other people on that call, for my wife, it's flamenco dancing. She is in a high-pressure job, but she has to do her flamenco dancing because she does it recreationally, and that gives her energy. So when she comes back from that, she is energized. For me, it's boxing. I like to go boxing, but recreationally. And I have to do that no matter if I'm working 10, 11 hours a day. I have to get away for 30 minutes or 40 minutes to do boxing, because it gives me energy.
Yeah.
And that for you, that social connection, going sky luging or hanging out, getting some coffee, it sounds like that's just as important. And that's something that I think you can guard that dearly, that time.
Yeah, because it's not something that it's not to me it's a luxury actually. It's a luxury to actually have that time, especially with school and training that's going on. So yeah, it's something that I will actually like kill for actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the skills to kill for it as well.
No.
But it's look, for anyone else who's listening in on this call who might be looking, if you don't know what that is for you, go and find it. Find what you're passionate about. Find what gives you energy in all of the chaos of your life. Find that one thing that gives you energy and create space for it in your day or your week. And that's a lesson that Cad, you're after sharing with whoever's looking at this call, because they can see how much you value that time, and there's a real awareness there for you. I think it's great. For someone who's so busy and has so much chaos in their life, for you to have that awareness about what gives you energy, I think is amazing, and it will help you as you train and compete and live your life.
Yeah, to me, I feel like if you really want it, you won't be tired to chase for it. You won't be too busy to chase for it. You know, yeah. Even how busy it gets, I'll make sure I'll set time for it, because there's always time.
Yeah.
There's always time. Yeah.
So again, what I'm hearing there, you've got passion. You're driven with your sport. You're organized because you're protecting time to meet your friends, and there's excitement that I'm hearing there, and gratitude. There's a lot of things that you have got going really well, a lot of strengths, Cad, that I think is worth recognizing for you. And if ever you're looking ahead and you're thinking, I cannot cope, I'm overwhelmed, I've got so much going on, just reflect that you have these strengths and more that I cannot identify on this call. I'm sure you have many strengths, but these are the ones that are coming through strongly that I'm hearing. And you have a lot of strengths that you can build on. So you do have the tools, and you've got the tools to cope. It's just about maybe finding, right, what strength can I use to overcome this challenging situation. But that's just one perspective. It's one perspective, and I've really enjoyed our conversation here today, and
Same.
I'm fascinated with CLAT. I really enjoyed watching it. I like watching combat sports, and next time I'd love to come and see you compete next time, whenever that might happen.
Hopefully.
Yeah.